Welcome to the 111 Approach podcast, your go-to space for deep thoughts, real talk, and exploration of everything from spirituality to self-development and the mysteries of life with some light-hearted humour along the way. I'm your host, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer, and each episode will dive into different topics, sometimes personal, sometimes thought-provoking, but always authentic. So whether you're here for some new perspectives, inspiration, or just a fresh take on the world with a bit of randomness thrown into the mix, you're definitely in the right place. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into it. Hi, it's Lakshmi here, and before we start this week's episode, I need your help. Next year, I am taking on the biggest charity challenge I've ever done. Now, for those of you who know me well, you know I love to do things for charity ever since I was a child, from sponsored dance-a-thons, sponsored silences. Yes, I know, hard to believe me being quite right. Sponsored abseilings down buildings, and last year, even sleeping out on the streets of London in the middle of October in just a sleeping bag. I really try and push and immerse myself in things to raise money for good causes. And next year, I am climbing Mount Kilimanjaro for not one, but two amazing children's charities. Cordwell Children, who help disabled and autistic children all over the world, and Cordwell Youth, who empower at-risk adults aged 11 to 24. Now, this is the biggest challenge I've ever taken on because, number one, the target I need to hit is the biggest one to date. I need to raise £5,000, all of which goes to the charities because actually the trip and expedition itself is self-funded. But hey, if you're a business and would like to sponsor that side of it, please get in touch with me. And number two, I've never climbed a mountain in my life. Although I did make up my mind at age 5 that I did find a mountain in Canada and claimed it as my own. But that's a story for another day. So please, if you are able to make a donation, no matter how big or small, it will really help me reach that target. And I will be forever grateful to you, as will the children who the money will go to. So thank you again. The link will be in the show notes below. And enjoy this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to a massively overdue episode of the 111 Approach podcast with me, Lakshmi, aka the 1 Minute Healer. And yes, it has been a hot dang minute since I uploaded and recorded an episode because your girl's been busy. She's been traveling, jet setting. Yes, I was in India for 5 weeks and then I came back to London for about 3 days and then I was off to Peru for another 2 weeks doing some shamanic healing and training in the mountains with the shamans and the Inca tribe people. And then I came back and it was Christmas and then it was the fake New Year and then I launched some amazing I've also launched some amazing new programs and services to help people really transform their lives, do that energy shift and get into that vibration that 2026 is coming in at. So I've just been really actively engaged. I'm not going to say busy because we are being super aware of the words that are coming out of our mouths now because we are co-creators and so whatever you speak shall be. So I'm not busy. I'm actively engaged. I've been actively engaged with so many things. And so unfortunately, my little passion project, this beautiful little podcast that I love so much, has had to take a little bit of a backseat. Priorities, right? And sometimes that's just life. Certain things, you might have to just let them go for a short while. It doesn't mean they're gone forever. They're just pushed to the back seat. And then when you're ready, you can bump them up again to the front seat. And boy, let me tell you, I have missed recording and just being in this space, creating episodes, chatting shit. I mean, let's be honest, I do that anyway, but not with a microphone in my hand. So I have missed this immensely. So I have to give a little bit of a disclaimer for this episode because I'm just forewarning you now. It's going to be a little bit like a hodgepodge, right? It's going to be like that couple of days between Christmas and New Year. I think they call that period Twixmas, Twilight Christmas, Twixmas. I'm sure it's a term, look it up. But that's pretty much what this episode's going to be like. I don't really have a structure. It's a bit of a mishmash because I'm just going to kind of give you an update of what's been happening in my life. And so, yeah, I'm just warning you because I just wanted to jump on here again and say, hey, I'm still around. The podcast is still very much alive and kicking. But I've just had some personal setbacks just before Christmas, which kind of knocked me for 6, I ain't going to lie. Boy, let me tell you, when they say that 2025, that year, was/is the year of the snake, because guess what? Even though the Gregorian calendar says that we are in 2026, if you have listened to episode 6 of my podcast, you will actually know that January 1st is like the fake New Year. Or should I say, it's one of 3 New Years that you have. I'm not going to repeat myself because I've already done a whole episode on this. So just go back and listen to episode 6 and this will make a lot more sense. Anyway, we are still currently in the lunar calendar of the year of the snake. So it's still all about shedding and letting things go that no longer serve you, so that you are ready to step into the next lunar year of the horse, which is going to start around February 17th, I think. So yeah, that's when that new energy comes in to gallop forward, go forth and really hit the ground running, or rather galloping like a horse. But let me tell you, honestly, this whole shedding of things and things being taken from my life very rapidly and very abruptly has been quite intense. So yeah, I had quite a massive setback just before Christmas, and I was thinking, could this be any worse? That's a little Friends reference for you there. But literally, I was just like, holy crap. When they said the shedding of the snake, they really did mean shedding and just removing pretty much everything and starting from scratch. So I was getting like hit wave after wave after wave in all directions. I could have drowned. Trust me, I almost felt like throwing in the towel at some stages. But I stayed strong, used my mindset techniques to keep me from spiraling, and I managed to get myself and keep myself in a much more positive state than I thought I'd be in, to be quite honest. I was very proud of myself. Given what I'd gone through, a lot of people probably would have crumbled massively. And I'll be honest, I'm not like ready to completely share what I went through. I'm still kind of processing some of it. So if I'm ready, I obviously will share it on the pod. But you know what? I may never share it, and that's okay too, because I feel like I need to also highlight that sometimes as a content creator and being on social media and even on this podcast, there can be like a massive pressure. Now, I don't know if it's like my own internal pressure of like having to share every aspect of my life, or is it some kind of societal pressure of people just want to know everything about everything. And I'm getting better at it though. And I've learnt that it's okay to keep some of the things of my life and experiences private. So yeah, I can't promise that I'm going to ever reveal exactly what happened over this Christmas, but I can promise you that I will share all my insights from my lessons and learnings with you all. So yeah, like I said, this episode is just going to be a little bit of a mix of random thoughts and things that have happened in the last month of my life. Well, 2 months really. When's the last time I did an episode? Oh my gosh, I've just checked. 6 weeks ago. So almost 2 months of my life. Okay. Anyway, here we go into my little inner dialogue now when I realised that it's been 6 weeks since I uploaded an episode. Now I could sit here and internally beat myself up verbally, like telling myself how much of a failure I am for not sticking to a weekly podcast regime. And trust me, that thought has crossed my mind a few times. But again, I use my techniques and my mindset skills to overcome and reframe those negative thoughts and low vibration thoughts so that actually I can start feeling good about myself regardless, because I want to let you know it's okay. It's okay if you don't perform at your best all the time. We are allowed to drop the ball sometimes. So just be kind to yourselves. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, like I said, get ready for your pick a mix of an episode. And on that note of pick a mix, I do miss a good pick a mix. Do you still even get them nowadays? I don't remember seeing them in the stores. I think you still get them at the cinema, but Lord, it's been a while since I've gone to the cinema. But who remembers good old Woolworths with that amazing pick and mix section, like the joys? And you just take your mind back, for those of you who are old enough to remember Woolworths. Here in the UK, we had this store called Woolworths, and it was just amazing. And just going in there and seeing that sweet section, that pick and mix of all those amazing candies and sweets. Now, I love sour sweets, so anything fizzy, the sourer, the better. Like, I used to love the fizzy cola bottles and the cherry ones, and yeah, give me all the fizz, all the fizz. And now, I actually like the other kind of fizz as well. So give me the champagne and the sweets. any day. But anyway, yeah, you don't really see them. I think I remember seeing some in like grocery stores at some point, but again, now I just don't recall them. Are they still there? Or has my reticular activating system just completely oblivious to it? Because your girl's trying to be healthy now and cut out like sugar and processed foods. So maybe I'm just not seeing them. So if someone is listening to this, can you please confirm whether or not Pick a Mix, because groceries, if they're still around in the grocery stores, because honestly, I do not remember seeing them at all. Like I said, they're probably in the cinema, but I'm overdue in a cinema date. So maybe I should just go watch a movie again, because the first and only time I went was to go and watch a Barbie movie, because I was like, I've never seen a movie by myself and I really wanted to do that. Take myself out on a date. I think I need to start doing that a little bit more. Have I already done a podcast episode on this? I can't remember. I'm going to have to go and like revisit my episodes, because it has been such a long time. And yeah, I can't remember what I've talked about. I did realise though, when I did go to the cinema by myself and I had hyped myself up and I was like, yes, I'm going to the cinema, I'm taking myself out on a date, I'm a strong, independent woman, woo! And I was really hyped up, really excited to take myself out and go and watch the Barbie movie, because what other film should you go and watch by yourself as a woman but a very feministly approved movie about how amazing we women are and how we can do anything. But anyway, as soon as I parked up and I went into the cinema, that negative inner dialogue of my mind and my ego brain just started a million miles an hour, and it started telling me, oh, people are looking at you, they're judging you, they're probably like, oh, the Sado's here by herself. But then I realised, actually, people are so engrossed in their own inner dialogue and in their own worlds, like they don't even notice anything that's going on around them, very rarely anyway. So all of this negative chat that we tell ourselves, 80% of it is not even real, it's just an illusion. Anyway, I do a whole masterclass on this, which is actually free, by the way. If you are listening to this before January 20 of 2026, you can get access to this 90-minute free masterclass that I did to highlight and showcase some techniques that you can do to override this negative self-talk that we have so often with ourselves. And if you're listening to this after 25th of January, well, I'm sorry, you're going to have to just wait till the next masterclass, which will probably be in the real new year. I think maybe March, April times, I will run it again. Anyway, what's been going on in the weird and wonderful, wacky world of Luck Me since the last time we did an episode? I went to India for 5 weeks with my family, including my 3-year-old nephew, whom I love dearly with all my heart and soul. But oh my goodness, hats off to you parents. Hats off to you. How do you do it? I don't understand. Wow. Love him. Love my family. But Lord, was India a testing time for all of us. It was a challenge. Really nice parts, but really frustrating and challenging parts. So let's just skip over that for now, because I cannot be ranting about the trials and tribulations of the Indian culture and being in that very beautiful country, but also very challenging country where they don't respect boundaries very much and they tell you things and then those things don't happen, or you get let down, or the timing is so not in line with what we're used to. So it was a massive culture shock, even though I was only there a couple of years ago. I tend to forget how the Indian culture runs. But anyway, love-hate relationship with that. Let's talk about my amazing trip to Peru. My goodness, Peru stole my heart, honestly. I think also maybe it was heightened with the fact that it was my first ever solo trip that I'd done properly, where I didn't know anyone. Because usually I've solo traveled before, but I've always gone to either stay with friends or some people that I know. But this time it was like my ultimate 40th birthday gift to myself, as was this podcast actually. This podcast was birthed the same day I was birthed from my mother's womb 40 years ago. So last year I launched the podcast on my birthday, but I also simultaneously booked a spot on a shamanic healing retreat in Peru. And I was like, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to go to Peru and learn and experience shamanic healing and plant medicine and ancient traditional rituals and really gift myself this experience. And it was amazing in terms of like what I experienced going by myself, not knowing anyone, and proving to myself that I could do it, being so far away from home. And then I also started doing some trekking and hiking in preparation for the Kilimanjaro Charity Challenge trek that I am doing this time next year, actually. This time next year, I'll be on a plane flying to go and start my trek with a bunch of amazing people that I'm doing this with. And we're going to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Wow, that's just kind of dawned on me. That's huge. So, on that note, if you haven't already donated to my charity challenge, please, any donation, no matter how small or how large, will be greatly appreciated because I have a very big target to attain to before I can actually do this challenge. So, please help me. So, anyway, I did some trekking. Started off as in true Look Me style, just throwing myself in the deep end. Ended up booking myself onto a little tour to Humante Lake. Didn't realise that it's a 60-degree incline and it's 42,000 metres above sea level. So the altitude was no joke. I was taking 4 to 5 steps and I was out of breath. It was insane. I was just like, damn, I must be so unfit. Actually, it was also because the altitude was kind of hitting me. And if it hadn't been for my lovely tour guide carrying my big ass backpack, I don't think I would have made it. I was so close to giving up and just getting a horse to take me up to the top. My inner dialogue kept trying to keep me down. So I started the trek and I was towards the front of the group and I'm there walking thinking this is not too bad. And then as the altitude hit me, as the tiredness hit me, as the fatigue hit me, I started flagging and lagging and I went towards the back and I was saying to myself, well, at least I'm not the last one in my group. At least I'm not the last one in my group. But guess who was the last one? It was me. And it was quite funny to really listen and be aware of what my mind was telling me throughout that trek. It was like a 4.5 hour trek, I think. We'd been walking for like 4.5, 5 hours. And at the start, it was very much like, yeah, you got this, you're at the front, you're doing really well. And then as I started, like I said, lagging and flagging, my mind also started flagging. It started saying to me, wow, look me, look at you. You're one of the youngest in the group and you're lagging behind. Look at all these other people. They've overtaken you. And then when the guide took my backpack off me, even though I was like, right, I can do this now. And I got to the top and I was so emotional getting to the top because I was really thinking I wasn't going to do it. I enjoyed the moment and then straight away my mind was like, well, you didn't carry a backpack though, did you? The guy did it for you. And so it's not a true victory. And I was just like, wow, this is what our mind does to us. Even when we achieve a goal, even when we do something that you thought you were going to fail at and you wanted to give up, but you pushed through and you did it. And one of the only reasons I actually still did it was because I had someone like my guide telling me, no, you can do this, you can do this. It showed me and reminded me the importance of having a mentor or coach by your side, a little cheerleader, someone to push you and challenge you and not let you give up on yourself. I had a similar experience when I was in India. I actually had this beautiful lady called Swati who does yoga and some energy healing and just wellness. She was a bit like me actually, but it was really nice to be on the receiving end. And she came every day to our house, did a session with me, my sister, my brother, and my mom. And that's when I learned the true power of having someone there with you, holding your hand and guiding you, but also challenging you and pushing you at the times when you think you just want to give up on yourself. So that was quite interesting to be really aware of what my mind was saying to me. And so I guess I'm just sharing that story with you because even though someone like myself who does this work day in, day out, is my full-time job, mindset, wellness, meditation, energy healing, all the good things that are proven to help with your positive mindset and energy, it still requires work. It's not because I've done it once and I'm a intuitive Reiki master and I do this work every day for my clients. It doesn't mean that I won't have days where my mind is trying to attack and bring me down. And there are times when I want to give up. And there are times where I feel like, wow, okay, let me just throw the towel in. But that's when I realize actually, no, even I need someone to guide and challenge me, which is why I have a mentor. And so I always say to people, if you are thinking of doing some self-development work or going on a spiritual awakening journey and going on a journey to just reconnect with yourself and get to know yourself a lot better, I highly advise it, but I also definitely would never do it without having someone to guide you and be your mentor. Because without one, it will be a really tough journey, and no one really wants to do life alone, do we? Maybe there's times where you want your own solitude and your space, and I think that's really important. But really, the best things in life are to be shared with your loved ones and shared with others. So, community and society and collaboration and having someone there in your corner is really important. I really do feel that. Anyway, just giving you a little bit of update of what's been happening. So I think I'm just going to end that there to say I'm still here, people, and watch this space because I'm still here, people. So thank you again for all the support and the messages of love and appreciation for the work that I do. You have no idea how much it means to me. Like, I'm not going to lie, I never get sick of getting those messages from clients or people from my socials who are following me and have resonated with something that I've posted. It honestly means the world. And the times where I'm having a bit of a dark day or a low day and I question whether or not I should still do this work or I should go back to just getting a regular job and do this part-time. It's those messages and those testimonials and feedback, or that even just a little bit of engagement or comment on a post, or someone sharing my podcast, or someone telling me that, you know what, that piece of advice that you gave has really turned my life around and really helped me. It's just that bit of fuel that keeps me going. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to just say thank you so much to everyone who takes the time out to engage with my content, to share my content, and to share my work so that I can help as many people as I can in this world, you know? So, yeah, that's it for me today from this very random and unstructured episode. We're going to end, as we always do, on a 1-minute meditation. So, if it is safe for you to do so, please go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold, and then breathe out through your mouth, relaxing your shoulders, dropping your jaw. I want you to keep your body really still and just take a moment to be present. Knowing that no matter what is going on in the world around you, your mind might be telling you things that might not be necessarily true. It might be trying to make you feel a certain way. But just know that you can always come back to your physical body. This body of yours that keeps you moving and thinking and living and breathing in this beautiful planet that we are privileged to call our home. And a little bit of gratitude always goes a long way. So give yourself some thanks, give your body some thanks, and give this beautiful Mother Earth, your true gratitude. And with that, you can take a nice deep breath in and out and open your eyes. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. I know it's not been as polished and refined as my other ones. It didn't really have a theme at all, but it was just like an update episode. So watch this space for some more. If there's certain subjects and topics you'd like me to cover, why not reach out and tell me? And I'll do my best to cover any topics that you feel you'd like me to do in my own weird way. So with that, remember to like, download, share and subscribe. Leave a comment and a rating. Do some energy exchange on this. This is a free podcast that I share with you all. And so if you can do your bit to show some appreciation and gratitude for the content that I put out, it's just good karma, babes, you know? So I will see you on the next episode. Sending you all love, light and blessings.